Morning, guys. This is Minnie with Sweet Shack Homestead, and today, or this morning, I'm just gonna do like a small tour around these little garden plots, I guess, that we have right now, and what's growing, and just to, kind of show you a little bit of what we're doing, how we're doing it, and what we plan on doing. So let me show you guys. So over here, for the life of me, I cannot remember. I think these are collards. I know that's kale. And my small Brussels sprouts over there. Don't mind the basket. I had some stuff there last year and I'd never moved the basket. It's what I carried some seedlings out with last year. This is our fish tank that my husband decided to put here. And yes, there are goldfish in there. We've got some mustards planted in here. And if you can see all of this right here, this is where an armadillo got in and just completely destroyed pretty much every seedling and stuff that I had coming up right there. That was more, I think, broccoli and cauliflower or something right there. And yes, I'm in my slippers. This is onions. Don't mind the weeds. I have to come through and weed it again. What I'm doing, you'll see like the pine shavings and stuff, and I've got some leaf mulch in between some of the rows, which we're gonna put more. This is how I'm feeding my soil. Let me show you something real quick. This rooster, every time a dog comes out here, he's the smallest, or one of the smallest roosters we have, and he's only mean to the dogs. I don't know what it is. Come on, Tiki. So back to the onions. They're a lot bigger this year, and I'm thinking that it's due to us planting the onions here right after we had beans growing right here last year. We had some white acre peas growing here last year, and this whole bed was full of peas. So I'm assuming it's high in nitrogen, and I come through with like some chicken manure compost. I come through with the worm casting tea that I make, and I've hit it with some fish fertilizer and rabbit poop. So I'm thinking a combination of all of that is what's driving the growth in the onions this year. The mulch is helping to keep the soil moisture in check. So whatever you do, guys, just mulch around some of your onions, some of your beds, and just see what happens. I'm going to try the back to Eden method, which is wood chips. So that's something that we're planning on doing this year. I'm trying not to till this area too much just because we've tilled it a couple times, and I want to try to build the soil back up and build the soil health back up as well. So that's what we're going to try to do this year. Over here on this side, this is just a row of garlic. Let me get my shadow out of the way. I only done one row of garlic. I know that's not enough to suffice the year or to take care of us for the whole year, which that's fine. This was just an experiment to see what would happen. Sorry, I think that armadillo was over here too, so I'm just trying to straighten stuff up now. But anyway, we bought these, I think it was 2 or 3 bulbs of garlic from the farmer's market this year, and the lady that was selling it told us that she just like threw garlic seeds out, and this is what happened. She said this stuff is so prolific in her yard that she can just go and pull up garlic. So this year I plan on going back to the farmer's market to see if she's there selling some more garlic, and even if not, I'll just order some organic garlic. But this is going to be our seed garlic for next year. But these are also a lot bigger than anything we've grown ever. I've got some small ones down here that I'm going to hit with some extra fertilizer. And what I fertilize with is just, you know, oh look, I can see a clove right there. I may need to cover that up some. Anyway, it's going to be the fish fertilizer, the rabbit poop, and the worm casting tea. This was, if the armadillo didn't mess anything up, I had some broccoli and cauliflower. This is cauliflower right there, and that's broccoli. Yeah, so he didn't do too much damage over here, but I only had a few seedlings that came up. Let's get that out of here while we're here. But I'm gonna come through with some wood chips. See, there's one there. I think that's cauliflower. Yeah, this is a row of cauliflower and a row of broccoli. But I'm going to come through with some wood chips and do the, like I said, the back to Eden method to see if there's, you know, much of a difference, which I kind of think there will be. This is our other onion bed, and these onions, they're doing okay. Not as big as the ones over in the other onion bed, which I need to come through and weed this one too. But they're doing pretty good. We're trying to push some growth so that we can get some decent sized onions this year. My brother and I planted close to 1,000 onions, I think, this year. So again, they're doing a lot better than what they were last year. I do have some sporadic turnips popping up. I was gonna plant turnips where the onions are, and the chickens got into the garden and decided, well, too bad, you're not gonna do that. So now there's different ones. You can see them popping up everywhere. But yeah, like I said, this is our onion beds. Don't mind the hose. Onion. And over here, if you cannot afford a raised bed or to build a raised bed, get a pool. Get a pool. I got this last year. I've grown so many things out of here. This was a sunflower. I've got turnips in here. My phone decided to try to die. Anyway, this is, I think it's a mixture, a lettuce mixture or a salad mix or something like that that I planted from in my gardener. It was a free seed. I wanted to try it, so I just tossed some seeds in here. And again, there's some turnips growing. I think this is a garlic, I think, that I had last year that died. So yeah, again, if you cannot afford to build a raised bed, don't sweat it, man. Get you a pool, add you some compost, put you some stuff on the bottom, like some leaves or something on the bottom, put you some compost and soil mixture on top of that. I'm gonna come through here, and I'm probably going to hit this with some wood chips to try that back to Eden method in a raised bed. Again, we want to see what happens. That's lemon balm, and it has proved itself. I did not cover this when we had 20-degree weather. Did not cover it, and it has made it through. I love, love, love lemon balm. Absolutely love it. So now I'm going to just kind of walk around and show you some different things that we're going to try to do this year, like I said, with the back to Eden method. And I'm probably not going to build raised beds. I'm probably just going to mark like some plots and tell you how we're going to do that. So give me just a minute. Well, there's our gargoyle. This is a front garden that we were doing in front of our porch. We've got this cheap little stuff up right here to try to keep the chickens out. It got knocked down just from being old and stuff like that, and storms, and they got in and started eating our Napa cabbage and the radishes that we have behind that. But this is another bed that I'm telling you guys, if you cannot afford to build a raised bed, do a little pool, something like that. Just, you know, get something started. Throw some stuff in the bottom of it, like leaves and things like that. Then throw you some composted soil in there. I'm gonna come back through with some wood chips and put that on the top. But throw you some seeds in a little pool, and, you know, grow yourself a little garden out of that. There are all kind of plants that do really, really well with, you know, like companion planting things like that. You can look it up, see what goes good with what, and most plants do good together. Most, not all, but most. I'm one of those ones. I'm kind of like a rebel companion planting person, so I just go with it, and most of the time it works for us. What works for us may not necessarily work for everybody else. So let me forewarn you, we still have Christmas lights up that we have to take down, so don't mind those. But you can, if you can see it, there's a grapevine right, yep, there. And it goes up, and we weaved it through the lattice just to, you know, have the lattice work for us. They say that it, somebody told us that it could crush the lattice, work over time, and we'll deal with that when and if the time comes. Right here, the little twig, that is blueberries. I just mentioned that. I think that's an onion or two right there. I'm not really sure. But anyway, we have the Napa cabbage, the daikon radishes, and again, there's another grapevine that we weave through the lattice work. And come over here, I'm supposed to have some bok choy over there, some little choy or baby choy, and that has not come up yet, so I need to figure out what's going on with that. But this is more daikon radish, I think. No, this is Napa cabbage right here. And over here, as you can tell, I had chickens, and I want to say an armadillo got in here as well, but I think it was more so chickens, because they have just torn this stuff up. That is more daikon radish, and that little twig that you can't really see right there's a little green, that's another blueberry. We're gonna move this sago to another piece of the property. I don't think I have anything else growing right here. It died. That was pineapple sage right there, that's like all sticks and stuff, and this is my dewberry that we have in front, and some asparagus that we planted last year, I think it was last year. But yeah, this is just kind of, I don't really want to call it permaculture, but it might just be, they all work together, and it's doing fine. We did have some beans planted here to put some nitrogen into the soil, and I planted some daikon radishes to break up the soil if it was too bad. So that's why I have the daikons here. And we also eat a lot of kimchi, so there's that. It works for us. But this is just something else that you can do. If you have a small space, plant. I mean, to me, there's no space that is too small that you cannot plant a seed and grow it. So let's get growing, guys. All right, so we're gonna walk over here. This area, we had to fence this off. All of this right here, we had to fence this off. I got to get in there and clean up some of that stuff right there. But we were trying to keep the chickens out of it, and I mean, we don't have a whole lot of fence, so we were using some tin to block the chickens. It works. So whatever you got, use it. Block any and every animal you can from getting into your garden. So this little area here, I'm going to mark some plots and do, like I said, the back to Eden method. I'm bringing in some compost. I'm bringing in some leaves and stuff like that to make it to where I don't have to till. But I do want to build some of this up because the land takes a slant down. So I do need to build some of this up so all the water is not draining and washing all my seeds and stuff away. But we're going to do, I think, tomatoes in containers this year. This is just an experiment that we're doing to like put them off somewhere else, because this area, this whole area will be, in the summer, it's going to be like the sun is straight down. So the peppers may love it, the tomatoes do not. So this area here is going to be probably my hot peppers, because I have so many hot peppers that we're going to be trying out this year. I mean, we've got cayennes, we've got mushroom reds, we're going to have poblanoes, jalapenos, habaneros, Tabascos, bird's eye. So, I mean, we need a hot pepper plot. I don't mind if they get cross-pollinated because this is for my use. If anybody else wants to buy it, just know that they're probably going to be cross-pollinated with something. Once the onions are finished, I'm going to make these different plots of different things, but along the fence, I want to plant some loofah and anything that vines up, probably cucumbers. I'm going to do some cucumbers along the fence because I'm going to utilize what I have. So that means taking this fence and planting some vining plants that need to go up on a trellis because I don't have very many cattle panels. So I'm going to use the fence to do that. I had it all planned out where I was going to use cattle panels and just have this beautiful garden. It's going to be beautiful no matter what because I'm going to be growing my own food. And that in and of itself is beautiful because I know what's going into my food. I know how I'm growing it. And yeah, I know what I'm feeding it. I know what I'm putting on it, what I'm not going to be putting on it. So that's what we're doing. Like I said, bringing in some leaves, putting those along the fence. I've actually got that done over here. You can see right there, I've already brought in some leaves right here. So I'm going to bring in some compost and then I'm going to do transplants. I mean, they say that you can sow it outside, but I'm going to transplant some pumpkins and squash and things like that need something to trellis up on. I'm going to put some more T-posts in because I do have T-posts that I can put in to make this a little bit more sturdier to hold, to hold everything that's going to be growing on it. So squash, zucchini, let me see. Sorry, don't mind the roosters. We have plenty of them. Squash, zucchini is probably going to go over here, like right here. I mean, this is a decent sized little area, so we'll mark this off. You can even start with like newspaper. Nothing fancy, nothing glossy, but just put some newspaper down, bring in some leaf mulch, bring in some composted, bringing in some composted soil and planting your seeds and then throwing the wood chips on top. It's simple, it's easy, it's the most, I think, expensive thing you're going to be spending your money on is the compost and the wood chips. Now, I'm trying to source wood chips, but even if I can't, I'm just going to go buy some wood chips. I mean, it is what it is, and I'll just work with what I got. So anyway, I do want to put like some melons and things like that over here. Back here, this plot, I have tilled this a couple times. I don't want to till it anymore. But last year we grew onions and stuff, so I was trying to give this a rest for a season, so that's what I did. I gave it a rest. Now I'm going to come in, I'm going to level all of this off. I'm going to throw in, I don't know just yet. We've got plenty of mulch and stuff, and the soil and stuff is pretty good. I've brought in some compost, so I may just level this out, plant some potatoes, and bring in some wood chips. It would be that simple, but this is going to be potatoes. I don't know exactly what kind I have. I do have like some red potatoes, so I don't know if I'm going to grow anything else. This area, again, this is just going to be another experiment with the Back to Eden method with the potato plants to see what happens, see what grows, what doesn't, and just kind of go from there. But everything this year that I'm doing is going to go back to the Back to Eden method and seeing how that works for us. Over here we have, I'm so out of breath dealing with animals, but over here we have fig trees, and over there's like this the pipe that runs off, I guess, from like the washing machine and stuff. I use like an all natural soap, so I'm not really concerned about it. I make my own soap, but that's a fig tree. They absolutely love it right there. So what I'm trying to do over here, don't mind the shovel over there because I'm working over here. I'm pulling, if I can get my finger back right, there is some amaryllis right there. So I'm pulling all of those up, and I'm planting some shampoo ginger around the area. I want to create what is, you know, an environment for plants to thrive. The fig tree is thriving there. I tried bananas last year, but it was the wrong type of bananas for our area, so I have to figure something else out with bananas. But again, just for the front part right here, so I can get into the fig tree over here on this side, and on the other side I'm going to plant the shampoo ginger right here, so that we can, you know, maybe harvest some of that this year and use that, you know, to wash our hair, wash our bodies with. It smells so good, so good. And I'm told that you can save that over the winter. You can freeze it and just thaw it out when you need it. I don't know, I've never done it, so this would be my first year doing that. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. What are you guys doing in your gardens? How are y'all going to garden this year? What are y'all planting? I'm doing peppers, hot and mild, and of course, you know, your bell peppers, sweet peppers. Of course, we've got the onions over there. We're doing melons, squash, and zucchini, just some tomatoes. Yeah, so just tell me, you know, what are y'all doing this year for your garden? So anyway, tell me what you guys are going to be doing for your garden, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.